Hello. In this part 2 video about monitor groups, I'm going to show you how to edit and add students to this monitor group. So first of all, I'm going to show you how to add more students to that group. I'm going to find another math test and apply filters to it to find more students that match my criteria. Remember last video I found a 5th grade math assessment. This time I'm looking at a 4th grade math assessment, and that's the beauty about monitor groups is you can create monitor groups that grow across multiple grade levels, but they still fit the same criteria. So I'm going to switch to my student list and I'm going to edit, and I'm going to follow my same process of adding filters to find my students. Remember, I am finding students who met standards and also who were economically disadvantaged. Anytime you apply filters, you got to bring those over onto the columns tab. And you can apply filters to multiple data fields on the columns tab. Once I do that, I'm going to click update. I've got my list of students. And remember, you have to be on the student summary in order to see this button, add to group. If you don't see it, then you are not on the student summary, so make sure you switch to that. And then follow the setup steps. This time, add to an existing group, and then you got to find your list. Now my monitor group is not showing up right now, and so there may be a little glitch that needs to be fixed, but I'm going to click on these blank ones because it may not have saved the name. I remember the 2 students that were in there, so I'm going to test it out. I'm going to click next and give it a name. Click next. And there are my 2 students. So for some reason there was that little glitch, so I just wanted to show you sometimes that happens. I select all my students, and by doing that I clicked on the top one, shift, and then click on the bottom one and add. And now when I click next, it'll save that name. So if that happens to you, just don't be afraid to click on one of those blank lists and make sure that you have the right students in there. So that's how I add more students from another assessment. I could repeat that process for other assessments. If you will be repeating this process for numerous assessments, then I would encourage you to save yourself a little bit of time. Once you have applied your filters on the edit button and you've got it all set up the way that you want, then what I would encourage you to do is save your view. It'll say your view has been saved, click OK. And then now what I would say that you should do is click that edit button again, and let's give it a name. So this could be like, we're just going to use this saved view in order to save ourselves the steps of not having to create all those filters over and over and over again. We've got our view set up the way we want, and we just want to be able to drag over multiple assessments. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say EcoDis Math meets view. Right? That's just a name that makes sense to me. And I'm going to click update. Once you have clicked that first save button, you've got a save and a save as a new view. I don't want to save it as a new view, I just want to update my view. And now that I've done that, now that I have this saved view, I can always come find it here under my saved views, EcoDis Math Meets view. And then the beauty of this is I can edit and then take out this test and just find another one that also meets my criteria. So I've drilled down and I dragged over another math test, and I want to click update, and now I've got my new student that I can follow that same process to add them to the group. So this is just a good process if you have a lot of assessments to sift through in order to find the students that meet your criteria. Another way that you can edit a monitor group is by coming to the Students tab. And then down towards the bottom, you'll see Manage Monitor Groups. I'm going to click there. If you can always create a new monitor group here from scratch, but of course you'd have to have the list of students or search for them. If you already had a list of them, like if this was your tutoring program, that might be a good process to follow. But also just know if you don't see that, then you just need to zoom out on your Chrome window. It doesn't like it when you're not on 100%. So open up your folder, it might be the campus folder, and find your really strange. It still is not saving the name of that group. So I'm going to come back over here and I'm going to click here and I'm going to type in the name. And then I'm going to make sure I click that save button. There it goes. Now it's saved. All right, so if I come over to the Students tab, I can always search by student name, or if I have an ID number, and add more students to my list. So if I have a last name, I can type in that last name. You can either press enter or click the search button, and then if you you could either add specific students. I'm just holding the control button and clicking on specific names, and then you can click add. Or you could always click on the top all the way down to the bottom, and I did the shift, held the shift button that time, and add students that way. Okay, so once they're over here on the right, you can click the save button, and that's how you can add more students to your monitor group.